Hi, so today I'd like to talk to you about psyllium husk in Ayurvedic medicine. Psyllium husk is also known as Sat Isabgol and is the husk of the seed of the plantain plant, which is a common variety weed and a useful herbal medicine. Today we're only going to discuss the husk of the plant. This husk is famous for treating constipation and has some other uses, and I'll discuss some of the ins and outs of dosage and timing to see if it's something that would work for you. So first off, as waste products enter the colon, the large intestine, it comes in as a liquid. And this liquid stool, liquid waste product, becomes more and more formed into a normal bowel movement as it moves through from the ascending colon to the transverse colon to the descending colon. And as it becomes formed, it induces mass peristalsis. In Ayurveda, one of the functions of the downward moving vata, which vata dosha subtypes that we refer to as apanavayu or apanvayu, regulates this peristalsis. And this peristalsis is triggered by healthy formed stool in the colon, providing bulk, which tells the body all of the absorption of the liquid in the stool has happened. It's time to release the waste product. And so there's this natural intelligence that's going on. If we move too quickly through our day, we don't hydrate well, we don't exercise enough, then stagnation can occur. Sluggishness can occur. If we eat too much dry food, dehydrated food, food that has a similar quality to this dryness that's happening within the colon, that can also exacerbate a situation of constipation when it's due to this dry quality. Sometimes there's just a sluggishness but a normal formed stool. Other times the transit may be too quick, and this transit time can lead to more loose or soft served stool, which may be moving too quickly through the system. Here, psyllium can help in various ways. So one of the ways that you can use psyllium in a this practical method is to start with about a rounded teaspoon of psyllium in about 8 to 10 ounces or more of water in the morning, first thing, or after you've done exercise, pranayama, meditation, yoga, asana. That way you're not full of water in psyllium. And at that point, you can stir that up and quickly drink it before it starts to become mucilaginous and gooey in the cup. And then when you drink that down, you want to make sure that you hydrate well through the day, making sure that you get good hydration. Because psyllium are like little sponges, and if these little sponges expand, they're pulling water into them. And by way of pulling water into them, create that bulk that we're looking for, and they help to expand and create healthy bulk of the stool. And if we don't hydrate enough, then it creates a sticky or pitula quality to the stool. And that might exacerbate constipation. So if some people have dry stool and they're constipated and they take psyllium and they say, hey, this has worked like a charm, I'm going to recommend it to a friend or to a client. And that person takes it and gets more constipated. That's where I say it's not a one size fits all. First, you have to make sure you're hydrating enough when you take it. 2, if some people suffering from chronic IBS may get triggered by excess fiber in and of itself, and they may be sensitive to that fiber. But often the case is that they're not hydrating enough. And so you want to see how well do they respond to fiber? Are they hydrating enough? Fiber is key at moving waste products through. And so you want to make sure they're getting plenty of fruits and vegetables in the diet. They're getting good proper exercise, making sure that you're touching on all these bases, not just relying upon a substance to do a job that your body can do on its own. But when you need that support, when you need that momentum towards a healthy bowel movement. Psyllium can work quite well. You can go from 1 rounded teaspoon to 2 rounded teaspoons to even 3. Plenty of water in the early morning. From there, after several days, you'll get a good sense as to whether or not that psyllium gets that, what I call the water wheel going, gets that good, healthy elimination cycle happening. If you are one to want to take it at night, you can take it with a little less water, about 8 ounces of water. And you can take that same amount. Some people find that taking it at night is more beneficial than the morning. I personally found that morning tends to work best for myself as well as other people that I work with. Now, some people are concerned about habituation with psyllium. I find that for people 40 years and over, if they have a tendency towards constipation and psyllium works for them as a daily laxative, that's definitely better than the ramifications of constipation, which by and large is hemorrhoids. A lot of people struggle with hemorrhoids as they get older from constipation. So that's just one piece. But what I find is that once things are regulated and the diet is improved and exercise is increased in a healthy way, usually people do not become habituated or need psyllium and can easily get off of it. If there's a need for stronger laxatives like senna or cascara sagrada or Turkey rhubarb, these are all good laxatives, but it's better to stay away from stronger laxatives whenever possible, and when they're needed, combined with other herbs that are more tonifying to the bowels, and ideally focus more on diet, lifestyle, and exercise, and then use of like a famous compound triphala or 3-fruit compound, which can be great for developing good tone. It's not a one-size-fits-all for everyone, so psyllium can be beneficial in that regard. Now, another way that psyllium can be used is when the stool is what we call mrudu. When the stool is dry, it's kruda or dry. So kruda koshta is more of a dry terrain of the intestines. And mrudu is soft, meaning it's maybe too soft. So the stool comes out even like soft serve, maybe too frequent. Not diarrhea from like amoebic dysentery or some sort of food poisoning or something. In those cases, we're taking a different tact. But here, if there's just too much mrudu koshta or too much soft, more frequent stool, then psyllium can help bind. And this is helpful. And sometimes it's taken with an anupan, which is a media of intake like milk. But I find that the best way to do it is to take it with water in the evening time. And then in the morning, the stool may be formed, a little bit more formed. There are foods that can do this as well, like chia seeds are very well known for this, being a binder. There are vegetables that are binders, and grains can sometimes be binders. Apples, stewed apples with a teaspoon of ghee and a couple pinches of fresh ground nutmeg can be a binder. So there are other ways that we can accomplish this along with the use of psyllium. So the thing that you want to remember, a take home for psyllium, is make sure that you're drinking at least 64 ounces of water, about 2 quarts of water. Say 2 to 3 liters a day is a good amount of water to take when you're ingesting psyllium, because if you don't take enough water with psyllium, it can create that sticky action and can bind people up a little bit more. And so there are times for psyllium and there are times when you don't want it. And there are people that respond to it and people that do not tolerate it well. So it really is a matter of trial and error. There's really no real clear answer as to who isn't going to respond, because I've seen it work for people with chronic dry constipation when they use it skillfully, along with a really good regime of diet and lifestyle to support incrementally increasing and listening to the body as to whether or not it's the right medicine for them. And ultimately, food, diet and lifestyle is your best medicine. 80-90% of everything that you're going to do to heal from dealing with chronic constipation has to do with that. And then the herbs and the herbal intelligence, our herbal allies are there, our friends, to help us further our cause when needed. If you've liked this video, click the subscribe button below and check out more videos in the future. Namaste.